Very so, guys. Chris with T3 Medias, and I am here with
Jason Bell, one half of the Blackout Tuesday brothers. You could catch our show on Facebook.
What's the new one? You just did it today, right?
Yeah,
was it Facebook.com?
Yeah, it's Facebook.com/sneak preview movie review.
Sneak preview movie review. No S at the end.
No S at the end. Movie review.
Facebook.com/sneak preview movie review. Remember that because that's where you find this guy, you and Nate. Y'all tell them about. It's a funny story. Tell them how we the chance that we met. You probably, I don't think you were in the video per se too much, but you were in the background. I think from Glass.
Yeah.
And it was like a chance that we saw each other out of nowhere because I was already dressed up like Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass, and I had won the raincoat that Bruce Willis character played.
Was that you or Nate that was in the raincoat?
That was me.
That was me. I don't know why I thought that was Nate. That was you.
That was me.
So y'all saw him for the first time on that Mr. Glass review that we did where he broke my hand. I don't know why I had that in my head that was Nate.
No, that was me. That was me.
I was like, and I saw you kind of. It was funny
just
because
standing there. I knew Nate pushed me to say, "Go stand over there."
Like, they're brothers. It's fine. Like, don't be afraid of the white guy holding the camera. He's just recording. But it was funny because I was interviewing like two young kids that saw the movie, and those kids didn't they didn't see Unbreakable or Split at all. This was the first time they watched any of it, and I doubt that they went back. So I felt like the interview was fine, but I felt like it was dying. And then I noticed in the corner of my eye, Sean, who was holding the camera, he just panned over and went like, "It's all you there." I guess this was after Nate pushed you to go for it. And then when I saw him do that, I was like, "What's going?" And then I saw you dressed up, and I was like, "All right, let's get rid of these guys. We'll walk over here and see if anything interesting is gonna be said with this." And there it was. It was a funny interaction and whatnot. Did you think that any of that was gonna go down at all?
You know what? I just went for it. Yeah, you was already dressed up. I saw you in the theater, dressed up, but I didn't know. I just thought you love Glass. You got dressed up.
I'm dressed up like I take the hat off. I'm always dressed up like Samuel L. Jackson. When the Star Wars came out, I got my bathrobe and a lightsaber. Yeah.
So I just thought you was a super fan of that whole Glass.
Like, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, he's a big time fan. But then when I saw you interviewing somebody, I said, okay, now it makes sense.
Did you think maybe we was part of like the production or anything like that? You
man,
you probably just some knuckleheads with a camera.
And then Nate was like, man, go just he's like, just stand over there. So I stood over there, and just me standing there really made me get into character of the guy, because that's basically what the Bruce Willis does.
What's his character? The Watcher, the night, the Night Watcher or something like that.
Oh man, the not the night.
Like Raincoat Man.
Oh man,
because you said it in the interview. I was like, who are you?
Yeah,
and you're like the Night Watcher,
because it was fresh in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the funny thing about that jacket is that that was Bruce Willis's jacket,
but it said Glass on it.
I noticed that in the interview. I was like, that's kind of. I guess it makes sense to market in the movie, but whatnot. But overall, man, that was basically it, and we exchanged information, and in the very beginning, we were in touch, but then kind of not. And then just recently, a couple of days ago, we were like, dude, like
we
seriously,
got to get together.
Do something. And then he was like, what side of town are you from Houston? I said, I'm in Conroe. And he was like, bro,
I work in Conroe.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So collaboration should be like fairly easy. So maybe just like Robert By Burnett and John Campea doing the Weekly Hero thing. Maybe you might see more of this guy, hopefully, because
you will see more of me.
I hope so, and me on his channel too. So you're launching a new YouTube channel as well soon. You're already crushing it on Facebook. These guys, they get into, they have press passes and get into a lot of movies. And me and Sean and Brianna have just now started to gain those accesses and whatnot. But you and Nate have been
we've been doing it for a while. Since 2007, beginning of 2017.
Yeah, and I only recently, like last year, like late last year, build up the guts to ask one of those the hosts and those reps about it. And I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't I ask a long time ago? And whatnot. As much as I started doing the regular screening things where we have to wait in line, and then I would see people VIP, and looking at most of them, some of them just look like people who just maybe they want a contest, but a lot of them just look like friends that got the hookup. Yeah. And that was the if I remember correctly, I guess it's gonna be story time. That's what I said to the lady. I said I have a real outlet. I have a blog. I have a YouTube channel. I'm really trying to do movie critique and punditry and all this stuff. And I noticed a lot of people, when I asked them, how did you get these passes? They go, just, I know somebody. And the lady who was representing that day was like, yeah, a lot of people are just friends.
If you continue to go, you're going to start seeing the same people over and over. Yeah, so.
I've seen fights break out.
Are you serious?
In the lines where people have to wait. I've seen this. When me and Sean first started going, one thing we started noticing, especially at the AMC, was not in Westland, that one in Houston. Like if you're in Houston, you know what I'm talking about. So there's an AMC out there where a lot of these screenings happen, and there was this group of people who would come down there really early, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they would bring like chairs, lawn chairs, and then leave,
just to get themselves in line.
Like there'll be a couple of guys that would stay in line at the spot because they would go and ask, "Where's the line going to start?" And they would put the chairs there. Go to work, probably come back, and then just sit down in their chairs. And there's like 10 people behind those chairs. One person got bold because they started noticing it was the same people over and over again. One person got bold and got those chairs
and moved them out.
Wow! And stood there, and when and it's obviously gonna be the first person in line. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the 5th or 6th person that moved them out the way, because the first person in line was the first person they asked. Like, did you move my chairs? He was like, no. And he had an honest look on his face, but he had a smile. Like, I know who did it, but I'm not going to.
I ain't going to snitch.
All I'm going to do is just say it wasn't me. And they came back and moved those chairs right back, and then the whole thing got started.
Oh, wow.
So where the manager of the movie theater that day had like this dude looked like he only weighed like a 120. Like he wasn't gonna do much. You know, like, look guys, you're getting a free movie. But it was the middle of the summer. It was hot outside.
Oh,
they weren't letting us into that AC. It's like don't tell us to be grateful when you got a sweat not here. You're not letting us use the bathroom. You're not letting us have any water.
What?
And it's like little stuff like that. Like this guy really didn't know how to manage. And the movie pretty much got canceled.
And you're talking about the theater that I met you at? No,
this is the AMC 30. Is it AMC 30 or something like that?
Okay.
I mean, there's no representation on the theater or the staff or anything. Just those two groups of people that just got into it that day. They just were really upset with each other, and they bumped into those same people who do it over and over again. Yeah. So. Now, luckily, I'm just like him with his outlet, and now I'm starting to get press passes. Now we're getting invited to. I'll still do the wait in line thing if I don't have the press pass.
Same here.
More and more, I'm starting to get more invitations to the press passes. So, no offense to the people that's waiting in line and stuff, but I'm kind of glad that I can just show up and be like, just get me to my seat, because I'm actually trying to. Cover the movie, just like you, and give a review about it.
Funny thing, I used to work for a movie theater. I wish I still did, because when I worked for the movie theater,
you saw the movie early.
I'm talking about, like, they used to have to watch the movie to make sure. This is back. I'm gonna tell you how long. I'm gonna date myself. Back when they had the reels, they don't use reels no more.
It's all digital now.
Yes, and so. They had to make sure everything was okay with the reel.
So you had to watch it.
You had to watch the movie ahead of time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And man, if I was still working there and doing this, man,
I wouldn't even worry about a press pass because, and and that makes sense. Who did that all the way up to the point where he had like 1 million subscribers? It was who's the guy who comment below? Let me know. The guy who goes he was on Collider a little bit.
Okay.
For a little while, but he's been had millions of subscribers. He's he's a real funny dude. Why am I forgetting? I'm blanking on his name, but he says that at the end of it.
He wears glasses?
No. He doesn't. His stuff is edited a lot. Like he'll be talking, then it'll edit and whatnot.
What's
the guy's name? White guy that real funny dude. And he started off doing
his name is John also.
Yeah, it is
Johns. Jeremy Johns.
Jeremy Johns. Yeah, Jeremy Johns. He was working at a movie theater, and then he just decided one day to put a camera on himself and just get a review. That video did very well. So he was just doing it one time. He just was just like, I just want to talk about this movie. But his energy was like right up there and whatnot. And people were like, all right, do that again. And he did it. And then all of a sudden, this was early in YouTube. That's why his following started coming up. And then when he couldn't work at the theater anymore because he was going to start focusing on YouTube full time, he was still so cool with the manager.
With the manager,
they just kept letting him come in. So he was still able to get previews before everybody. That was another thing. Because he worked at the theater and he continued to get access to the movies before we could, like the normal audience or the release, he was getting his reviews out at the same time as other critics who were getting passes. So he was up there at the same level without really, now he's getting those passes and stuff now too. So, and I'm pretty sure he can probably go back to his old theater and they still let him in. Like,
that's Jeremy Johns. Yeah.
Like the manager now probably like, I don't know him. Somebody's like, you
need to know him. Yeah.
But he's but that's how he got started. So I used to work at a theater for a short time too, and I might have seen like Borat. I don't know how many times. That was around the time when I was working there too. But yeah, I miss
the theater I work for. It's not even there no more. It's Tinseltown. I don't know if you.
That's the one I worked at.
Oh, you worked at Tinseltown?
This dude was right up the street. And we worked at the same theater. I worked there for a little while before I went overseas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I told the guy, I said, I might be getting a job overseas. So I'm going to let you know honestly. And because of my honesty, he still let me work. And then I got the job and I had to quit like a couple weeks later. But yeah, I remember using... getting to see those movies real quick, but this was like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like that was when Tinseltown was kind of on its way out.
Yeah.
And is the building even still there?
It's gone. It's
like,
gone.
What's there?
It's a business building.
They leveled it and probably put like
it's a business over there.
Because I remember that used to be one of the spots to go to.
Yeah, man,
Tinseltown used to be the lick.
It was a bunch of famous people. Yeah, it was a bunch of famous people. That was the spot to go see movies.
Yeah,
and
because Cinemark was on the rise.
Well,
it's still kind of big, but AMC kind of took the spot.
Took over. Yeah.
But Tinseltown was it. Didn't they? What was that mascot? Was it a cat?
It was a cat. Yeah, what was his name? Top Cat, something like that.
We're gonna party. We're gonna rock. We got tickets to the Cinemark, and that cat would sit down. And that dude, that other cartoon cat behind him would be talking and stuff. And now something, I don't know what that did. They shoot him? I don't remember. But that's the whole thing.
I think they started the wave of how different movie theaters go about doing things now. Like with the concession stand, and not only the concession stand, but you have they have a little pizzeria inside. I see a lot of theaters. Then they have the seats that lean back.
You're right.
They was the
first time I started reclining in the theater.
In the seat. Yeah.
A lot of things. Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, Mom, she probably don't want me to tell this story. My mother briefly. I don't know if you watch wrestling. You watch WWE. You remember Ahmed Johnson?
Yeah.
Dated Ahmed Johnson briefly. And he took us to Tinseltown. That was my first time going to that theater. Oh. That's the theater he took us to.
I probably was working there because I remember him coming. I remember him coming.
That's probably where he took all his dates and stuff. Because I remember we were sitting there. I don't even remember what the movie it was. They were sitting there. I think me and my little brother was sitting in the row behind them. But yeah, that was the first time I think I ever went to Tinseltown. And then when I became an adult and I moved out of my mom's house, I lived in an apartment and worked at an apartment complex in the West Chase district. It was right down the street. What was that? That not hurricane, but it was a flood. Was it Ike?
I think it was Ike.
The one that flooded a lot of the freeways and whatnot. For some reason, I remember when that happened. The West Chase district was like, I don't know what it was. We were in some kind of a hill or a pocket.
It didn't flood.
It didn't affect me at all. I was able to still go to work. I was still able to go shopping around the area, and I was still able to go to the movies right there because none of that stuff was affected. It was the weirdest thing. Everybody was like, we're stuck on the freeway for, and I felt bad because they were like stuck on the freeway for like days. Nobody could get to them. Nobody couldn't get in, couldn't get out. And they were trying to figure out how to survive out there. But the West Chase district, that one little pocket, I was totally untouched, and wow. It was kind of crazy. So I still kept going to the movies because I had nothing else to do. There was nothing much to do, so I just go down the street, go across to where there was a Kroger's right around there too, and that was weird, man. Dang, so like this is like Bruce Willis and what's James McAvoy's character from Split, how they kind of were hovering around each other the whole time, and then boom, this is Glass, right here. What's going on? That's kind of crazy. So you probably were working there. Was it the 2000s or the 90s? I think that was.
I was there. I want to say I worked there up till probably about right before it closed down. I was working there.
Damn, I was when it closed. Mid 2000s or late 2000s?
I want to say like around 2007.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you start there like in the 90s or?
I started there in the 90s. Yeah. Actually, it's funny. My sister started working there first. She was there when they was just building. They wasn't even finished building.
Yeah, they tried to make this fancy. Like, movie theaters nowadays are fancy. But they made the whole building fancy.
And it had that old school look with the lights of the
strobe,
the strobe lights,
like neon lights and stuff all over. It was the way they designed it was like nothing in Houston.
Man, I can go on and on about that place too. I've seen some crazy stuff.
Like, don't tell me what happened to the popcorn, man.
No. I've seen somebody actually get shot up there.
Oh, yeah. And when people started to happen to bring cops into the theaters lately, that started like in the 90s. Mostly like usually if an incident happened, it'd be probably maybe a fight, and the cops would have to come in. Now cops are being assigned, especially at on theaters. Fridays, Saturdays, like
when they know it's gonna be a big crowd.
Oh yeah, they gotta be there. And then when those shootings happened later on, those real bad ones. What was it? The Dark Knight. One of those. I remember they try to prevent people from wearing costumes.
Yes.
For a while.
Yes. Yeah.
And whatnot, and that's kind of started to
die down.
Yeah. So, but. Oh man, I remember being real upset.
Yeah, because that's where you get away. You know what I'm saying? That's a place to get away, escape, and for someone to come and do that,
and just totally bust that bubble up.
Yeah.
And now, corporations are gonna they're gonna start cracking the whip, and I remember feeling like I feel bad, and I knew why they changed that rule. I'm glad they're starting to kind of get away from that a little bit because I thought that. Especially like with movies like Avengers, now that the comic book movie thing is coming back. I thought that I was like, I'm glad that people are starting to go wear costumes and stuff again. People don't, but I don't think they do it at that level that they used to.
No,
it used to be like every time because it was so far in between when a comic book movie would come out back then. Now it's like 3 in a year, but back then it was like every 3 years. So it was like everybody dressed up like Star Wars.
And see, I'm about to date myself again. I was
there when Luke.
when Phantom Menace and all those was coming out, and man, you talking about people coming in full Jedi attire.
Like you would be sitting next to a Wookiee. Oh my goodness, yep. I remember that. Mm-hmm. That was when it was real fun and big, and people would wave their lightsabers around. Mm-hmm. I was in the theater. I don't think it was was it Tinseltown? I remember me and a friend of mine. We went to see episode 2 together. Mm-hmm. Everybody had lightsabers, man. Mm-hmm. Everybody. It was just, and then when the movie started, they would put it down. Mm-hmm. Whatever you want, one guy. Woo!
Mm-hmm. Hey, but movies came a long way. Now you can reserve your seat. Yeah. Now, but back then you couldn't reserve a seat, and I remember the line for a movie like Star Wars.
Be wrapped
around the corner.
That's when the blockbusters really started. You were starting to get more and more back-to-back blockbusters. Now, back in the day, it was far in between a Star Wars movie, Jaws,
Jurassic Park came out.
Jurassic Park was another one, and another one that people don't believe me on. Home Alone.
Oh yes,
Home Alone had people around the corner.
Macaulay Culkin
blew up. And everybody waited, and then when after the Matrix, then it started to become more frequent for these blockbusters to come out, and it's come a long way.
It's come a long way.
Now a blockbuster is almost every week, and summer begins pretty much April, March. Mm-hmm. Captain Marvel just dropped out. It's spring now. Technically, feel like summer already. What's coming out next?
The next is. I want to say Shazam.
Yeah.
Then you have Us. I don't know if Us is going to be a big blockbuster type of movie like that.
There's excitement.
It's a possibility because of Jordan Peele's last movie.
Yeah. So people are excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And we're gonna after this, I'm gonna do a We Got Your Mail on the giveaway. I'm not gonna give it away right now. I'm not gonna tell you what the whole thing about it is, because I still haven't reached out to the people for a contest that I'm doing, but because I actually want you to just wait for it, because people are gonna get mad at me. So that's Avengers Endgame is coming up next.
Avengers Endgame. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And we might be able to see. I know you're gonna see Shazam. I'm gonna see if we can go see Us together. We're gonna try to do Endgame together. Mm-hmm. And I guess everything else from now on.
Lion King.
Oh yeah, I can't. Mm-hmm. Here's something I gotta ask you. What's gonna be bigger? What's gonna make more money in your opinion? Mm-hmm. Lion King or Endgame? There's the Sophie's choice right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you have a nostalgia thing with Lion King. Mm-hmm. Grandparents, kids alike can go watch that movie. Now, then on the flip side, with Endgame, you have people who's been watching Marvel movies for 20 years. Yeah. You know, and I'm sorry, 10. Mm-hmm. 10, but they have over 20 movies that's out.
For 20 years they've been waiting for it to get this good. This good, big.
Yeah. And now that they put 10 years into watching these movies, I don't know. I can't really say which one is. If I go with my gut, I'm gonna
gun to your head. This is it.
I'm gonna say Avengers Endgame.
You're gonna okay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna. My answer kind of goes back and forth depending on when you ask. I might have to say Lion King, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be very close. I feel like whoever, we both, I think we said it before, like no matter what Disney wins. Yeah, like no matter what Disney wins. But I think no matter who wins, it's gonna be very close, very close. Razor's edge of who wins that box office, because like you said, everything has been building up. Everything in the MCU has been building up to this movie. Yeah. They might reboot the whole thing or go into a whole crazy new direction now, because after this movie comes out, they would have already locked up the Fox Marvel merger. That's happening on the 20th in a couple of days. Yes. This week coming up. They might start heading to a whole new direction for all we know. The Disney streaming thing is going to be coming up. They might want to start. They might not reboot, but heading in different directions.
Heading in different
directions. So everything from from Iron Man 1 has been heading to this movie. And that is going to be that makes it just as big as a Star Wars movie coming out.
Shoot, during the making of all these movies, Stan Lee passed.
And there you go. Wow, you know what? I didn't factor that into it. Now. So, now that Captain Marvel, after all that attempt to make it bad or make it fail, that wasn't what happened. It was a hit.
It was a hit.
Whether I mean, the movie wasn't perfect in my opinion, but it was good enough for me. So I saw it twice, and I might see it a third time. And so this might be the perfect storm heading to a big blockbuster. But like you said,
I think with Endgame, you have all the people that seen Infinity War, your average regular Marvel fans, they're gonna go see it, and then after they see it, they're gonna make more of their money off of word of mouth, as opposed to Lion King. It has that big time nostalgia. If you've seen the cartoon Lion King,
Lion King was one of the most successful Disney cartoons of all time, if not the
and so people's gonna want to come and see that. I want to see that.
Lion King it did big. I mean, real big back in the 90s. This was in a time when like people's thought of the greatest Disney cartoon ever was still considered like the old classic, like the Snow Whites and whatnot, when they broke those molds back then. And then Disney it didn't go anywhere. I mean, they were still making movies, but their resurgence came in the 90s, like Little Mermaid and stuff. And they were making hits right there. Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. But when Lion King hit, it was like, okay, Disney they just created something like crazy amazing. And it did more than all those other ones.
And what they doing now, listen to me, people. What they doing now is the biggest gimmick that is working. They're actually putting a movie that they already did out again. Kind of changed just a little bit, but they're putting it out again to get people to go see it. And people's going to go see it.
A lot of kids, especially mine, they don't watch too many 2D animation movies. My kids think it's boring.
It's old school.
It's old school. Like me, I don't like the way I feel like old black and white movies. I need to probably open my mind up and stop being that way.
It's something that's real good.
Yeah, exactly. Like Wizard of Oz was black and white for the most part. But when I was coming up, any movie that was older than me, I didn't have any interest in seeing.
That was me too.
I was the same way. So I understand my kids on that one. Like the animation for cartoons in the 70s when the budget got real low, it was real bad. I only figured out in my adult age why that was that bad. Like Super Friends and all that. There was a reason why, because the money was gone. The animation was horrible. So you compare that to the Thundercats and whatnot. When the money started coming back, it was like, oh, that's crazy. Why would I want to watch that garbage, right? So that's how my kids feel. But Disney was like, now that the animation's better, because who knows, if they would have had the technology back then,
they probably would have did it. Definitely.
So
Disney's real innovative when it comes to those things.
Exactly. And they always want to stay ahead of the curve. So I guess when it started with Maleficent, like, do we want to start rebooting or reimagining our classics? Then they did. I think it was Cinderella where they figured out, all right, this is how to do it. Yeah. And then ever since then, it was like no question. It was hit after hit after hit. And whether it's a bad one or not, I guess that's subjective. But profit-wise,
it's been.
I don't think there's been a stinker yet, right? I mean, I think
all of them's made money.
All of them has made money. And Lion King, it's
the one I'm really shocked about is Maleficent. I didn't even go see that, but
I did. I went to the theater and saw it.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
I understood what people were saying about how they totally changed her background, and I bet that was Disney's plan from the very beginning. I bet they were going to reimagine each one of their classics and do a Maleficent thing to it. But then when the backlash happened about, no, y'all totally did that wrong. Disney was like, okay, let's do the exact same movie, but just update it and see what they. And then when they did that to Cinderella, everybody was like, I like this. And then every movie since then, it was the exact same story. So
now you know what? Which one I would like to see? Of course they doing Aladdin. That's I don't know.
I'm no longer afraid of that movie anymore. the trailer that just came out, I think they did more work on the
CGI.
I think the first trailer we saw was they weren't really finished, and when the genie looked weird, I think it looks a little bit better now. I was telling people to calm down. Yeah. I think it's fine. Yeah. But what do you decided to see?
Yeah. The movie that I can't wait for them to do is Pinocchio.
That's gonna be like, I don't know why I feel like that should be like a horror, but
well, you know why? The original story was kind of scary. I remember being real scared when all the kids turned into donkeys.
Yeah,
that kind of scared me.
I know Disney won't do it. They won't do it. Where if anything will be close to a horror, it's probably gonna be Dumbo, because you got Tim Burton, but then you got that sad story about the whole thing with the mother and child thing. So who knows what's gonna happen with that? That's and then that scene in the original Dumbo when I think that dream sequence. If there's anything that's gonna get them to a horror, because they didn't do it with Maleficent, because that dragon
and they could have
I mean, but Maleficent, the sequel is coming out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering now, are they going to try to course correct and bring it? Well, they already did the whole Maleficent story on the first one, and now they have her as like a hero in a way, but it's called Maleficent something evil.
The Empress of Evil or something like that. And Queen of Evil, something like that.
So I didn't read the synopsis, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
It seemed like a course correction with the title.
So she's gonna go rogue again, I guess, and go. You know what, Betty Ed, put her back to sleep, poison her, and all that stuff. I decided I hate you all, I guess, because at the end she was a hero. So
I you know what? Now that you said you enjoyed it, I'm gonna go back and take a look at it.
I mean, whether you like it, whether you were one of those ones that liked it or not, here's one thing that you got to admit. Out of all the movies that they've upgraded like this, Maleficent is the first one they decided to make a sequel to.
Fact.
They could have just forgot about it and just made a sequel to like Beauty and the Beast or maybe not that one, but any of the other ones. Cinderella, who knows? But I think because of the fact that they did that whole different story kind of a thing, they opened it up. I think that's what was always the intention, was to change the story so it could be a franchise. But then when the backlash happened, they made Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and they said, let's tell the same story. And since the sequels to those aren't very that good, there's no point of making sequels to those. Let's just move on to the next one. But Maleficent opened the door.
Do you think they will do a Peter Pan?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because after those last couple of attempts, and I don't even know if those were Disney. Were those Disney properties? The one where Hugh Jackman was Hook. Remember that one? I never even saw that one.
I mean, neither.
And that's why they won. When Chris and Jason did.
But I think when you put that by Disney on it, you know.
I want to say it wasn't by Disney.
I don't think so. I don't think
Disney owns Peter Pan.
No.
I think it's a property.
It's an open property, yeah.
But I think they will be afraid to, based on what has happened. I'm like, you would have to base it on the cartoon that they did. I don't know.
And then Hugh Jackman playing he was Hook.
He played a young Hook.
A young Hook.
Let's see. While we're talking about that, let me look this up real quick because I might be wrong about it. Let me see. What was it? Was it called Peter Pan? 2000. Was it 2003? Was it that long ago?
Was it?
No, Pan. Here it is.
Pan.
Okay. See, look at all these Peter Pan movies.
Now Hook did good. Did good. But
people are split on Hook.
I love Hook.
I'm one of the people who love Hook. But then I'm surprised to find out that there are a lot of people who hate Hook.
Are you serious?
That movie. They say that was a lot. There's more people than you think hate this movie.
That's shocking.
As much as I love it, that's how much they hate it. It's crazy that people think that was one of the worst Peter Pan movies that ever come out. But this one was 2015. Let's see who was the developer. Joe Wright was directing. Made it in the United Kingdom. Who produced this movie? Wikipedia, I guess, will tell us.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you it wasn't Disney.
I was shocked. I thought it was Disney. Yeah, Disney's name is nowhere near it. So they did Pan. But I'm sure Disney looked at all that.
It said, like, we're going to skip this one.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're doing Mulan. They're doing... Now, that's one you can do a sequel to.
Yeah.
That's one you can open up a sequel to on that one. What was the last one that they did? They did Jungle Book.
Jungle Book. I think Jungle Book.
I think they are doing a sequel to that one.
Yeah.
Well, they might not because those the other Mowgli ones that they did kind of hurt the franchise. The one that went straight to... It was supposed to go to Disney and went straight to Netflix.
The one that was...
It was directed by was it Serkin?
Yeah,
the guy who played,
Andy Serkin.
Yeah, Andy Serkin. That didn't do good.
Did you ever watch it?
Nope.
I watched it and I understand why it didn't do good.
What was the flaws?
The animals look scary.
The way they talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so from what I saw on the trailer, it seemed like they were almost, if this is even a word, too humanized them. It went too far in making them look human.
I'm gonna tell you this: the eyes, eyes were human eyes, and that's what made it. It made it scary to me. I was like, that bear looks scary. Then the wolves had human eyes instead of wolf eyes. Yeah, and
in the Jungle Book that John was it Favreau?
Favreau.
The one that he did. Because he's doing the Lion King, they look like animals that just happen to talk.
To be able to talk. Yeah.
But in the Jungle Book, the trailer, now you probably hit the nail on the head. It looked like some kind of enchantment, humanizing thing happened to these guys and weirded them up, and it made it look weird to people. So
I think if he didn't do that because I didn't even finish watching it. I was watching that, so I said, "Oh, they look too weird to me. I can't watch it."
It's a disconnect.
It's a disconnect.
It'll throw you off. Because we see people all the time, and that's why people wonder: is there a day where you can make a 3D animated movie that looks real, like it was made in the real world? A day is coming, but we see humans all the time. So the second we see that, something will tell us there's something not right. And that's why it's gonna be it could be 50 to 100 years from now before they perfect it.
You know who I gotta give him so much props and respect with the de-aging thing is Marvel.
Marvel is
and this
because they use it so much.
Yeah. I could in some parts, very little. I could tell they did it in
the Benjamin Button effect.
Yes, in Captain Marvel.
Actually, I heard that they didn't use much. That was mostly makeup.
Are you serious?
That was mostly for Samuel L. Jackson. That was mostly makeup, dude.
Oh,
that's why it looked so good. There were some de-aging, is what I went to the behind the scenes, but for like 90-something% of it, it was mostly just good makeup.
Wow.
Because he got that cocoa butter skin.
Yeah.
Anyway, it don't crack.
Black don't crack.
so they didn't have to do much. I think Kevin Feige was like, yeah, let's save the money on this. That's Samuel L. Jackson, man. Just put the wig on him, get the makeup, and they say that's what it was.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why it looks so good.
It looks so good.
It wasn't done.
Okay.
But that's another thing that we have in common. I was writing down these talking points. Was that you're also a fan of? You started off watching like AMC Movie Talk.
Yes.
And then when it moved to Collider. And then we were talking about how John Campea. He left them before, and then came back and then left again. I'm also a fan of Collider and John Campea, and you said just like me. This is no dig because I still love both of these channels. When John Campea left again, what did you think was going to happen?
My first thought was, oh, he's not going to make it without Collider. You know, he's not going to make it.
Even though he didn't start Collider, but the whole movie talk thing.
Yeah,
that was his.
Was his thing. Yeah, and I was like, okay, he's not going to make it leaving them. And you know, I was thinking Collider's going to do fine. Collider's going to do fine. And
at this point, they already reached the 200,000 subscriber milestone. Yeah, they got AMC to that point until they split. AMC, I think, is still kind of there. Collider. They finally hit the 200,000 when John left again.
Oh wow!
And then John was under 100,000 because the first time he left, he was just between like 15 to 30, maybe 50,000 subscribers. And he came back, and when he left again, he was like 75 to 100,000, I think. maybe somewhere in there, maybe between 50 to 100. And today he's at 150.
Wow.
But Collider is at 500,000.
Okay.
So they doubled since John left.
Okay, and see, the funny thing was, I told myself, okay, whatever show he has, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna stay.
I told myself the same.
And I found myself. I said, let me just see what he's doing one day, you know. And I was like, okay, what he's doing is way better than what's going over there in Collider. And I started watching his show more than I do Collider. And really, what just I almost kind of left Collider alone is after John Snep died. And because I felt like he was the heart of that show.
I felt like if it wasn't for Heroes, I think John Schnepp probably would have probably gone on the Campea show more.
Yes.
I was surprised that he wasn't on. He didn't really have anybody else on his show until after Schnepp died, and then you started seeing Robert Meyer Burnett on a lot more. So I feel like maybe that was like a missed opportunity. He probably realized, you know what, I should have had him on the show a little bit more. But he was busy too, so who knows if he had time. But I was right there with you. I was the same way. At first I was like, I'm not gonna go back again because the first time he left, I tried to watch his first show and I wasn't that entertained, and I stuck around with Collider. Then when he came back, I was like, okay, I guess these guys aren't gonna break up again, but I was wrong. But then I was like, oh, but we got more Mark Ellis, more Christian Harloff, Clark Wolf. I'm loving her. And then some weird stuff started happening. Ashley Mover left.
Yeah.
What was the other girl that we also said we liked?
Tiffany Smith.
Yeah, Tiffany. Tiffany went. Well, she was coming every now and then to do Collider talk of
Jedi Council.
Jedi Council. She was a part of the Jedi Council, but she also had her own other thing. So I know why she kept going back and forth. But she was one of the things I loved. It was. You had John Campea, who I like. And there are people who hate John Campea. There are people out there who really who attack him every day. There are people who hate him. But to me, you had John Campea, and then there were some people maybe I like more than or less than John Campea, but because John Campea was there every day, I knew he was a sure thing, and I don't agree with him on everything, but he was consistent.
My thing was, I seen it was John Campea, Mark Ellis, Christian Harloff, and John Snep. They was like the A team to me.
Even though they weren't a part of the original team. The original team, the original guys was Amy Rose, Campea, Dennis Zen. And then Amy left. Dennis is still there, but he's
doing behind the scenes
stuff, which is what worked out for him. And then they brought in a new crew of. Then I won't say B. The only reason why I'm saying B is because they were second. The second team of regulars came in, Makuga and everybody else and whatnot. And I like the second team, but I liked them. But they were you were only getting them here and then getting them there. They were starting to split off to all these other shows, and it got to a point where I couldn't keep up with all those shows. I kind of like the core
that movie talk show.
The movie talk show. And I watched TV Talk and I watched Jedi Council and all that.
Same here.
But as far as the consistency, I liked it when John and everybody would they would all come together like the Avengers and come back to movie talk. But then when that stopped happening, because after John left, the only consistent thing was the host, Ashley Mover. And then when they left, they started switching different hosts. Crazy. Yeah. Everybody started moving to different channels, and it was like. Then that was when I was like, let me see what John's talking about. Because I kind of like the fact that I know who's gonna be, like when John Campea show turns on, I know it's gonna be John Campea or
greetings and salutations.
And I stole that, and I steal that line. But whenever I used to say, till next time, guys, I would point at the screen, and I realized I stole that from John Campea. So I had to change my whole exit to me actually exiting. So I kind of like stole it from Tyrone Magnus. You know how he walks in and he sits down? I get up and leave. That's my exit. But I can't do it now. So when at the end of this video, I'm like, get out the way, man. So I'm not going to do that. But that's now my signature exit now. I say, all right, till next time, guys, peace. And I just walk away.
How about we both leave?
Yeah, we just get up. Like go. I know you ready to go eat because you just got off from work and I've had him here for hours. But I tried to get a lot of my cues from Campea, from Snap, Mark Ellis. I love watching him, and now he's kind of
gone.
He's retired a little bit to go do more comedy and whatnot. I love Christian Harloff, but
man, I'm gonna tell you this. They have a new show. It's like
Collider Live.
Yeah,
I thought that was the same channel. It's a whole different channel.
It's a whole different. I don't like it.
Yeah, isn't it meant for podcasting? Like I know they got a camera.
Yeah, I think it would be better if it was just podcasting.
If I'm not mistaken, the premise of it is they do have a camera like the Breakfast Club. Okay. That's a radio show. Yeah, but they bring a cameraman in there.
Okay.
Like if I think it's there for the benefit of YouTubers who like to watch talk. Stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think it's because that's why the whole different. It's like a table. It's like a control little room. Mm-hmm. And I think it's mainly meant for their podcasting stuff. Like that's probably why.
But it's a reason why. They have a girl on there. I don't know her name, but I don't like her.
I like from the few episodes that I saw. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about her because I don't watch Collider Live that much. I guess I got lucky because the few ones that I saw, she was so raw. But what the shocking thing that she said made me like her because I'm a fan when a lady that pretty can have and also is like don't just treat me like I'm a pretty lady because I'll whoop you.
I think that's why they have on it. Cause,
she's real. Like don't just I could already tell from the snippets that I saw. Don't approach this woman and be disrespectful just because. Don't let the pretty fool you. Yeah, I feel like she'll get there with you. And I think that's why but that didn't make me like I gotta see this every week kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I think the thing that makes that's gonna make that successful because I think the subscribers are like up to 50,000 or 75,000 now, and I could probably confirm it right now. But I think the thing that makes that show successful is the fact that it's kind of like a podcast style. Yeah, I think you're trying to watch it like the way they used to do.
That's the problem. I think that's the problem.
But I think it's better as a podcast, and I think that's the whole premise of it. I think it's a podcast that happens to have a camera, so if you want to see him talk, you can talk. Because Christian Harloff is a good host.
He's a very good host. He's a very good host.
Now that's why
I honestly. Mm-hmm. How I even got to start watching Collider is through the Schmoe's Nose, which
really
yes,
it was opposite. But I learned about the Schmoe's Nose through Collider. Yeah, it was opposite for me.
Watching the Schmoe's Nose. First of all, I wanted to know the behind the scenes stuff. The behind the scenes stuff of movies.
Right.
And I said, I'm looking. How can I get the behind the scenes tips of what's going on with these movies and who's this director about the directors, and that Schmoe's Nose did that. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of pulled me over to Collider.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Collider, and then from there,
I think people complained that it felt like the Schmoe's Nose guys were being allowed to take over and turn Collider into another version of Schmoe's Nose. But one of the guys, I forgot his name. He's the bald-headed guy with the glasses. That guy. I think it's one of the execs at
Frost.
Frost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think from what I heard, I mean, I'm only going by based on what videos you guys all been putting out that him and Campea
don't get along.
They kept butting heads.
And I think that's why Campea eventually left. Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, and this is only I'm only speculating this one because after Campea left, they started doing all these different kind of shows. I think Frosty wanted to do more like branching out and making Collider do a whole bunch of different TV different kind of shows. And I think Campea only mainly want to focus on movie talk, Jedi Council, and the things that he was comfortable with coming into. But doing mailbag, because for a while he was the only one doing mailbag, and sometimes he would bring in somebody else. Because you notice, like right after Campea left, then now they got, I'm looking right here, Collider Live, Movie Talk, Heroes, Jedi, Rules of Two. They got Collider TV. They got podcast. I think maybe they wanted to do all this, and Campea kept saying no.
Yeah.
And because look what happened after he left. People started leaving.
And to be honest, why do you have Jedi Council, and then the Ruler 2.
I think Ruler 2 is on. Is it on the other channel or is it? I don't. You know what? I need to start taking the time and watching these shows more and getting on board with the schedule. Maybe I will become a fan again because I was okay with Movie Talk, Jedi, and Mailbag, and then when the Schmoedown got introduced, I was like, okay.
I love the Schmoedown.
I can't keep up with the Schmoedown as much as they do it, like with between the Schmoes No channel and the way they would but there were certain matchups that I had to see.
But to be honest, now they have a way lot more Schmoedown.
Why is Schmoedown just its own channel now? I mean, well, it probably is on the Schmoes No channel, right?
I think.
But why don't they just make a Schmoedown like a tournament channel and just do all that on there? Yeah. Because it seems like the Schmoes Knows guys had almost like a Joe Rogan kind of a setup where they had that little booth and they would bring. It's
like it had that like wrestling aspect.
Yeah, because he has that wrestling background, and they would have like I'm pointing at you guys can't see it, but I'm pointing at a sofa. They would have like a bunch of people sitting on a sofa, and they would have a camera. And who knows? I might start doing that from now on. I might have camera too and have it pointed at another place to.
You know who does that? Who I was telling you about, the Double Toasted guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
they have a whole okay, maybe here's the other channel because it seems like Collider Live is still on the Collider video channel, but Collider Podcast, maybe it's okay. Yeah, it still looks like Collider Live. So it looks like Collider Podcast. That's probably why you don't like it because you're still watching because they still have videos and it looks like Collider TV Talk is on there too, but they call it Collider Podcast for a reason. I think it's better just to listen to it.
I'm gonna give you another reason. Okay, you see how they have a picture and you think, okay, they're gonna be talking about this,
right? That's just one little subject that they bring.
I'm waiting for them to start talking about that subject, and it takes them forever.
That's the click. That's the bait.
I guess that's the bait. Yeah, I guess that's the bait.
So Collider Podcast has its own thing, and it seems like they also bringing in.
And see, I never knew they had that.
I didn't either at first because look what they have back on. Like you go back to Collider Video, see where it says Collider Live. It's the same like thumbnail. So so is this where they have the whole episode? I guess where they'll upload it because right here it says Collider Live for a playlist, and it's like an hour long, 2 hours long, and almost 2 hours long. But then when you go back to Collider
podcast is that smaller?
Where's podcast at? All right. On their playlist, did I click an actual thing?
Great spelling.
Podcast, okay. But when you go on their playlist, it's, look, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Right here. This is like little snippets, 10 minutes. Collider Live clips. They only have a clip here. The Witching Hour podcast clips. There's nothing full. Like these must be interviews with Perry Nimrod. I love Perry Nimrod.
I like her too.
Like I thought that the way, I don't know if you remember this, the way they used to treat Amy Rose back in the day, like people would troll her on comments, and they
do her now like that.
Not that I've seen. No, I haven't seen. Have you seen it?
Well, they used to. They used to talk about her hair, her bangs. I remember.
I don't know what it is about her. You know what? You want me to get real fast? I'm gonna get real. Let me tell you something. I think a reason why I like Perry Nimrod. She's what I call a level 7. Let me tell you what that means. It's an inside joke between me and my fiance. My fiance is a level 7, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like I don't know. Look, here's another. This is off the movie subject. Maybe let me see if you with me on this. Okay. Let's get off on the movie subject real fast. There are certain black guys that I've talked to. Who agree with me that you can be at a party and it could be a mixed crowd, or it could be all black, or it could be mostly white. And there'll be some girls you can, like, you looking to date, and maybe you're single, maybe you're looking to see if you want to date somebody. You can walk up to a girl who's in a different race of you, and you can be talking, and then she doesn't say anything bad, or it's not necessarily good or bad, just talking, and you'll get a sixth sense of like, I'm not going to flirt with this person. I'm not going to try. Mm-hmm. And then you'll go to another girl and she doesn't say anything different. She might say the exact same words as the first person. But some instinct in your mind goes, I got a chance with this girl. and for some reason, you're correct. But do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel.
Every black person that I know that's been in an interracial relationship or is currently in an interracial relationship has said, I don't know what it is, but for some reason I knew this is, you can sense it. Mm-hmm. No. And then this other lady, yes. I can probably get her phone number. And they probably said the exact same things and no different. And for some reason, you figured it out. I call those level 7s.
Level 7.
I think Perry Newman is
level 7. Okay.
I think she's open to dating anybody. I didn't know she likes, but I think one episode, I think she mentioned that she was on a date with a black guy before.
Yeah, I think.
And then when I heard her say it, I was like, I knew it. And I felt good about myself. I'm like, that's why I love Perry so much. And watch, I'm going to send this scene to her, and she's going to probably like not respond to it. She's probably going to do what she always does, just put a heart next to it on Twitter. But she's not going to confirm nor deny what I'm going to say, what I'm saying right now. So let's see what Perry says about that. But Perry's cool. I like, I mentioned to her that I was in a movie theater waiting for the movie to start, and her commercial, have you seen her commercial? She has like a commercial. She's sitting at a theater throwing popcorn around, advertising something, and I was like, and I recorded. I was like, holy crap! I'm sitting here, and then all of a sudden, Perry freaking Nimroff is on the screen.
Oh wow, no!
And she responds to those a lot. If you hit her up on Twitter on that, but see, it's mostly like clips, 7 minutes, 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. They even have clips from Movie Talk. So I don't understand and here Jedi Council, I don't understand the purpose for
the podcast.
So unless, just like what it says, if it's just mainly supposed to be, because I think they have a podcast.
Now I know they have a podcast on iTunes as well.
Maybe these are the clips that are going up.
Okay.
Maybe that's what's happening, and this is just for the benefit of YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it doesn't
resonate
right
with me. Yeah.
When you're watching it, maybe it doesn't feel right. Maybe you're only supposed to be listening to it.
And then I was so used to the Collider Movie Talk.
And you feel like everything's changing.
Yeah.
It's expanding, but the numbers don't lie. I mean, when you go to as much as I thought, hey, I'm starting to watch John Campea more than Collider now, the numbers don't lie. Look at all these things they've done with the Schmoedown and stuff. I swear to God, man, this subscription number was just over 200,000 when Campea was still there. And today it's doubled and climbing. It's about to hit 550, and
it's that content. You get a lot of content. People's gonna come to you.
They're covering more things. Mm-hmm. I predict that Collider will be at 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. Well, maybe not maybe not. They'll probably be at 700,000 by the end of the year.
I could see that.
And then by the end of next year, if not sooner, they'll be at 1 million. Before the end of 2020, they'll probably be at 1 million subscribers.
I 100% agree with you on that. If I'm going on a limb and say 800,000
by the end of this year.
By the end of this year, and the reason why is because of the movies that's coming out.
Ooh, yeah, that's
this
true.
year of the type of movies that's coming out is gonna raise up their subscribers. People's gonna go and
if they hit 800,000 by the end of this year, they'll be at 1 million for next summer. They'll knock those rest of because with those numbers and that much of a push marketing wise and the money that's starting to roll that will roll in from having 1 million subscribers. You know they're gonna put that million subscriber plaque up somewhere on the wall up there. You know. And the sad thing about it is, and this is why I'm telling you, you gotta look it up. There's a lot of people who loathe John Campea, no matter what he says, no matter what he does.
I'm surprised.
There's a lot, and there's a bunch of videos out there. No matter what he does, no matter what he puts out, they'll say they'll say something negative on it. It's almost like what happened with that Captain Marvel thing. As much as I like John Campea, I mean I don't agree with him all the time.
No,
but I like his style. As much as I like John Campea, I don't believe that they would today. I don't think that number would be at 500,000.
You don't think so?
Because I don't see him approving Rule of Two
That's
and all
true.
these other things.
That's true.
This is probably the reason why. If him and Frost were getting into it, and this was what they were upset about, it turns. I guess love him or hate him, he looks like he was right because since he left, that number doubled. And you add, I think you factor in the John Campea haters. Mm-hmm. They were probably staying away for this, and I think the second he left, I think the people who love hardcore go to the church of John Campea. They jumped ship and went to John Campea. Mm-hmm. The ones that hated him came back to Collider, and then they probably spread the word, and they were like, and look, they're opening up the doors, and they're making live, and they're making movie talk, and they're making here doing this and that, and now that Schnepp is gone, now I think that was a thing that kind of threw everything for a loop too. I didn't know what was going to happen. Yeah. After that. Yeah. But I'm glad that the lady who they got to host it,
Amy Allen,
is that her name?
Yeah,
I need to start watching this stuff again, man, because I when John Schnepp died, I said they better give it to her, and they did, but they gave it to her, and it was like now it's a co-host thing. Yeah. At first, it was Schnepp's thing.
It was Schnepp's thing.
But then when he died, they split it off and gave it to her and that other guy, and they got good chemistry. Mm-hmm. But I felt like she should have hosted it alone.
His nickname is the Outlaw.
Roca,
John Roca. I like him.
Yeah,
I like.
I didn't like him at first, but then when he started doing the Outlaw thing, I was like, I was rooting for him.
Yes, I was rooting for him
because he played the that heel thing on the tournament so well. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, I'm a part of the Outlaw Nation now, and I want to see him succeed. Mm-hmm. And then I saw
all the belts.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he kept saying. And then he made. I was like, dude, you should have been a wrestler, man, because you got it. Mm-hmm. You can give a promo better than anybody. I mean, Mark and Christian are comedians, so they give a good promo. Yeah. But Roca,
and I think Roca is trying to get into the comedian business.
He's not. He's an actor, right? He does acting. He does acting. But does he do stand up?
I think he's trying. He's trying to do stand up.
Well, he's got great delivery. Man. I swear, if you'd have told me he used to be a wrestler, I would have believed it, because he looked at that camera. He gets me fired up the way Stone Cold Steve Austin used to get me fired up, and then he sits down and starts answering movie questions. That's the thing that cracks me up about Roca. He's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the Schmoedown.
How do you think you would do in the Schmoedown?
Probably terribly.
You ever try to answer the questions watching?
Yeah, but see, that's what everybody does. That's what John and Schnepp and all of them said. And Christian, they say all the time. They say we get a bunch of people all the time. They say they can do it. But when you're there, and it's not like it's a grand like a Tinseltown type of studio. They got a regular studio, but when you know that it's for real, you got those lights on you, and you don't have the ability to pause the video and think about it. Then you
start counting down.
You got Mark Ellis, 3, 2, 1. You blew it. Your mom is watching and everybody's laughing at you now. The answer was Forrest Gump. And you're like, why did I think it was Blade? You're sitting there messing it up. But he says that's what everybody does. So I honestly think I would do terrible at first, and then if I got used to it.
I would love to do it. I would love to do it at least once. Try it out.
Stacey Howard. Miss Movies back when she was still doing it, and then I have a friend that lives close by to where they work out out there in California. There was an opportunity where if I would have just stayed consistent with communication, and if I had the time and ability to go to California, there might have been there is a lane that I could probably exploit, but I couldn't stay consistent. I had no way I was going to get to California anytime soon. So I forgot, and I think that door is probably all but closed. But I could probably maybe open it a little bit.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Get the channel. Yeah, let's get our channels up to like 10 to over 10,000 and 20 to 50,000 subscribers. Maybe it could happen. But I would love to do it. It would be a lot of fun. And who knows? Maybe one day you can bump into Christian Harloff. We'll have it all set up. I'll rig it to where you know, it looks like he's almost about to get ran over, and you just save his life as the last second. Turns out I was the driver the whole time, and you're like, "Oh my God, you okay, sir?" Man, that was almost like that movie. Have it all set up, and then you hear me a walkie-talkie, and that's me. I'm like Jason. His operation.
Get him on there.
Operation get him on Schmoedown. Are we green? And you're like, you probably should just ignore that. And then we're in. But you know, like you said, you never know. It'd be fun, man. Oh, what else is going on? Okay, another thing I was going to talk about, the big story. The thing that now I'm guilty. Okay, you just said this about what you didn't like about Collider. Live. How they have something on the thumbnail, and then it took us
forever to get to.
How long have we been recording? I don't know. If maybe I'm gonna edit some of this or not. I don't know. But I like to for these kind of live discussions. I like to leave the whole thing up. If you looked at the thumbnail and you clicked on it for this topic, sorry. Now I'm about to start talking about it. James Gunn's triumphant return to Disney, to Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yes.
And how do you feel about it? And where were you when you heard the news?
Probably working, delivering mail.
So what do you think? You said what were your thoughts about that whole thing?
I loved it. I didn't think it was true at first. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna believe this. Right. It's no way.
They fooled me 3 times. Shame on me.
Yeah, it's no way. How everything they ended it.
How they panned it out.
Yeah. I didn't think, they'll
especially
bring him back.
Because he got signed to Warner Brothers to do Suicide Squad 2. So I'm like, what?
Yeah, he's doing a DC movie. So like for Marvel to bring him back, and now he's the first director to do a DC movie and Marvel movie at the same time.
I'm glad you said that, because that's actually on the title of this clip that they're watching. I'm actually going to name this, what did I name this? Something like, I said, James Gunn, the first director of the Amalgam universe. Have you ever read Amalgam?
My favorite superhero is Darkclaw.
That's Batman and Wolverine, right?
Mix.
Yeah. So that, I was wondering if I was right about that. So yeah, you're confirming that. Like my theory that there have been actors who have done a movie and one movie and then done another one with the other company. That he would be the first director.
At the same time, because you had
they're both in post production.
Yeah, Josh Whedon, he took over for Snyder's his name.
Yeah.
For
Batman vs Superman.
No, Justice League.
Yes.
He took over because his daughter died.
So he did that, but he took over for him. Yeah. He didn't from the very beginning. The jump. So Josh Whedon, you're right. Josh Whedon, I forgot about him. Kind of asterisk, but in post production, none of them have been started or filmed yet at all. James Gunn should be the first director to be given a DC movie and given a Warner Brothers movie.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's directing and have done the script for both movies.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna get the screenplay because I know because Disney was gonna use the screenplay and make him an executive producer for Guardians 3, no matter what. They let him go because that's scandal. And let's talk for a second how BS that thing was. This was a situation where some politician who just didn't like James Gunn because James Gunn called that politician out some things that he did. He found his opportunity, found some old tweets. Now these are some old tweets where James Gunn had a crazy sense of humor back in the day, and he was unapologetic about it back in the day because he probably never imagined that he'd be working for Disney with a franchise. But this was almost just like Kevin Hart. This is something he used to do. He saw how stupid it was and apologized for it years ago and never went back to doing. He called himself out on it years ago and never did it again since he course corrected himself. And we always tell him, we say we put people in jail so he can be rehabilitated. But what do we do the second they get out of jail? And I said this on another clip on another episode of this show. We We don't give them a second chance. We never let them forget about what they did. Mm-hmm. We don't give them jobs. We don't give them a decent place to live. And then when they're starving, running out of food and whatnot, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to probably go right back into doing what they did to survive. Mm-hmm. So we don't give people real second. We give celebrities second chances. Yeah. But we don't give people second chances. And we all just hypocrites about that stuff. Yeah. So James Gunn called himself out on this stuff a long time ago. But yet somebody was still able to, through Twitter, punish him for it all over again. Mm-hmm. And it was weird. It didn't make any damn sense. Yeah. But now that he's back, like how do you feel? Like you think?
Oh man,
why do you think Disney gave it back to him?
Name your price.
I don't think they gave him more money, man.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think they get like I said to my fiance. It's like when a person loses their job you get fired from McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Just if they say, "Oh, you know what? We were wrong." They give you your job back. You don't get a raise. You get your job back.
But in his case, Burger King said, "Hey, we're gonna make you the part owner."
Burger King. Now, if you qualify to be a manager or whatever, and you can get a promotion, that's different. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying like you've been working at McDonald's for like a year or whatever, and you weren't trying to be a manager or anything like that. You still doing the register.
Well, I'm trying to link it to his situation and the fact that he's got the DC Warner Brothers job. After he got fired, a lot of companies were trying to get him on the direct movies. Yeah. He was sorted after, and Disney saw this and they seen the error of their ways. They said, you know what, he was a good director. All the actors in the Guardians
had his back.
Wanted him to come back.
Batista made it clear he was not going to be quiet about it.
He wanted to be fired from Disney.
He wanted to fire me.
Yeah,
I'll do it if you contractually make me do it, but I'm not gonna like it, and I might tweet about it.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. I think because you're already executive producer, you are going to get that money from that. Mm-hmm. I know being a director means you're going to get more money from that too, and then it's your screenplay. You're getting money from that too. Mm-hmm. What else more could they? I mean, if you're already still there. Technically, just not okay. This is your contract, and within the realm of this contract, you can do all this stuff. But that contract is still there. But in that stuff, we're pulling out director. I don't know, man. I think that he's still within that scope and that circle of that contract, and they just put director back into there because it can fit. But I don't know if he was able to negotiate them to expand that contract and say, okay, but I want more money, because Disney was already ready to go with another director.
Well, I'm hearing that they really didn't have.
They didn't really have one. Right.
In mind.
And Sean, my friend Sean, are in total agreement on this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he also thinks that he got more money out of it.
He got more money. I mean,
a percentage or something.
Just because of what he had to go through. Being fired from Disney in the public eye that way, like he got fired day of all that stuff coming out.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it's not like it's what's his name, Bob Iger or Kevin Feige who went again. It was some other executive Disney higher up guy who opened his mouth, I guess, trying to get ahead of it. Like we here at Disney, he spoke for Disney, the
whole Disney,
and said we don't condone this and that and blah blah blah, and just threw James Gunn under the bus. And and people at Collider, like Christian Harloff, was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, I remember that, and I felt the same way. It wasn't Kevin Feige. It wasn't Bob Iger. So what the hell is this guy? I mean, even if he's the vice president or whoever high up he is, still, like, dude, if Bob Iger isn't saying
it. Take time, think about it. Think about
what's going on.
You know, and since Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't care what anybody says, a lot of James Gunn DNA is in a lot of these movies, even movies that none of the Guardians are in. A lot of his DNA is in those movies because this is what worked. He made the Guardians work because of the humor and this and that. Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah, man, they owed him. I feel like they owe him
a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, after getting I think, well, maybe, who knows? But because I know they won't really tell. But at the end of the day, James Gunn wins because he also got a Warner Brothers contract out of the deal. They were like, whatever you want, baby, you can tweet whatever you want. You can have whatever you like.
And at first, before he's gotten a Suicide Squad, they offered him Superman. Right. And he didn't want Superman. He's like, I honestly think Superman's a hard character to
pull off.
Yeah.
I honestly think, who was it? Was it Jack Snyder? Who did Man of Steel?
Yeah, it was Snyder.
And now that he's going through his scandal and whatnot, I mean, hey, no disrespect to Christopher Reeves and all that stuff in those movies. That was a different decade, it's a different era. I mean, the only thing you can really compare Man of Steel to is Superman Returns. And they were trying to do the Christopher Reeve. That was a direct sequel to Superman Quest for Peace. So that was the same character. But close enough in time where you can compare those two to each other. Man of Steel is the superior story. And, I mean, dude, there's not a lot of comic book movies that give you that emotional impact that Man of Steel did. And I don't know why it gets so much shit.
Flat.
I don't get it. But now Jack Snyder won't be able to come back to do Man of Steel 2 now. But there's a lot of good directors out there that could probably pull it off. A good Man of Steel 2. I don't know. I think he might be going the way of Ben Affleck, but there's a chance. I feel like if Shazam...
That is a good choice.
What? For...
Man of Steel.
Who? Snyder or
no, who you just said.
But Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck.
To do Man of Steel?
Yes.
That would be a totally different Superman movie. but look what he did with Batman. I mean, I feel like we were gonna get a very good Batman.
He was gonna direct Batman movie.
I don't know why. I honestly thought that Ben Affleck was about to become the Kevin Feige of Warner Brothers. I thought that's what was going to happen. Think so? But now there's another guy who's actually running the ship now, and the reason why they're kind of course correcting. I forgot his name, but whoever's in charge.
Jeff Johns.
Is that his name?
Jeff Johns.
That's the guy who's in charge now, so he's doing an okay job now. But I honestly thought it was going to be Ben Affleck for a while. I thought that was the reason why they brought him in to direct a few and to lead the direction. And point us into a direction. And I thought that was what Ben Affleck was going to do. But then when he went through all that drama, I was like, I guess not. And then on top of that, I'm not going to direct anymore, but I'm still Batman. Okay, now I'm not Batman anymore, and I'm taking Henry Cavill with me. And I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But I think if Shazam does well, I think that Warner Brothers will come back and keep Henry Cavill on board and be like, I think we're gonna.
I'm so upset that Ben Affleck's.
I think he gave us the best Batman.
He gave us the best
physically.
Batman.
I mean, that dude was... Batman versus Superman was the most brutal Batman we've ever seen. The way he kicked butt. Imagine that Batman fighting against Bane and Dark Knight. I mean, that would have been a short... I think that would have been a short fight. I think Batman would have handled him really easily. But who knows, man? We never know. And then after that, the final story that I want to bring you in and talk about, get your ideas. We talked about this before we recorded. Olivia Jade about what her mom did with the whole thing with the college stuff. You said your overall thoughts. All right. So I don't want to drag it out for too long, but because everybody's already talked about it to death. Here's my question: the daughter. How do you think she will do after all this stuff kind of blows over? Even if her mom does or does not go to jail. Well, actually, but both scenarios. If her mom goes to jail for a long, long time, how do you think Olivia Jade will handle it? Or if they slap on the wrist to her mother? I
don't know how she's going to handle it, but I know her celebrity is going to go through the roof.
I don't know. You got to explain that one to me. I don't see how.
The reason why is because people like drama more than anything. People tune in to drama.
The Kardashian effect. They're trying so hard to make her another Kardashian.
She look like one of them. She looks like one of them.
The Jenners got got that. I think you're right. Oh, man.
I think her celebrity's gonna go through the roof.
I didn't even think Kim deserved it after how she got it. Like, that's the question, ladies. Is sleeping with Ray J worth it? And like, obviously it is. Because it made her a billionaire.
Billionaire worth.
And Ray J sitting there like,
what happened to me?
I ain't West over there. They're going to meet the president. Oh, man. And he's looking at himself like, man, you're the one who did it. It was all you. But for some reason, it was. So, I don't know. Damn it. I think you might be right now.
Yeah, her celebrity's going to go through the roof.
I told my fiance that she'll be all right. Maybe if her channel fails, like, because her mom already lost Fuller House. She already lost that Hallmark deal. She had. All of Olivia Jade's endorsements just left. One of what's those two guys that do a lot of reactions? He was just featured on John Campea. One of them. They do a lot of.
Oh yeah, I know who you talking about. I don't know his name.
I forgot his name too. And his friend wears a winter hat a lot.
He has long hair.
Long hair. Yeah. He said something about the Captain Marvel scandal that was like it stuck to my head. Like the whole thing with the trolling. Energy goes where energy flows where attention goes, and that seems to be what's going to happen with her. Now, she's already shut her YouTube channel down. You can't comment on it.
No.
She hasn't really posted a new... She posted a video when the scandal spiked, and then like 5 days ago. She hasn't posted anything since. And who knows when next time she's going to post something. But she's already turned the comments off, which means she's already aware of how much people don't like her. She dropped out of college because she's afraid of being bullied. Because you...
But she was saying she hated school anyway, and that's the real crazy thing about it.
A lot of people off.
Yeah,
you were trying to force Harvard or whatever on those elite schools on a girl who not only didn't deserve it, didn't want it, and didn't need it. She had 1.9 million subscribers doing her thing. She was making her own money.
Yeah,
she had her endorsements, but Aunt Becky wanted her to be all she could be, and still was setting her up for failure.
Man, you would think some of that Danny Tanner morals would have rubbed off on her.
Right over there. That's what I said to him. I said she went right upstairs and said, man, we're going to get her in the best schools. She turned into a bulldozer. They call it a bulldozer, my parent. Instead of a helicopter parent, they bulldozed all the obstacles out of her way. Because what was she going to do if she'd have gotten, like, let's say Harvard? What was she going to do? Like, all right, your mom got you in here. Now you gotta take this test.
Do the work.
I'm like, you know, how many people are you gonna be able to? They would have gotten, like, if she would have got into that college and like, let's say a year in, that's when they would have got caught. Because they would have continued to try to. You got all those Harvard grads who are trying to, like, figuring out, like, why is she in this class and who is this, and she don't play water polo.
I wonder who was the whistleblower.
That's who I'm still curious about. For all we know, it's probably her. She already snitched on her dad about...
She don't want to go to school that bad, huh?
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised.
My mom did it.
You know, I heard a rumor. She just, like, tweeted it out one day on an anonymous account.
That would be crazy.
If that turns out to be the scandal... She deserves as many subscribers as she gets. Then there's your redeeming path right there. She should come out. This is how you redeem yourself, Olivia. Come out as the whistleblower. All is forgiven. You told on you. This is how bad I didn't want to go to school. Like I sent my mother to jail. That's you know how bad you would have to hate school to snitch on your mom and your dad, because $1 million in bribe money, that didn't just come from Hallmark and Fuller House. That his design company's taking a hit too.
Wow.
That's how, whether it's true or not, spread that rumor. I'm talking to Olivia that you were the one who dropped the dime on your mom. All is forgiven. Your endorsements would come back, all that stuff, because you moved yourself out of the way for people who deserve it to now get, their shots. Because everybody's starting to look at that all over again, and be like, this stuff that's been happening to poor people for years that everybody didn't give a damn about. Now people are starting to care, because this is just too outrageous. But that's funny, man. I don't know if it's true, but I heard a rumor that Olivia Jade was the one who blew the whistle. But let me get back to my last thing. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. We got your mail segment here. I got a lot of people who are interested in And if you don't mind, can you pass it to me real quick? I got some swag from what the production company for. Thank you, sir. And that produces the Us movie. And I got some T-shirts and things like that now, and a lot of it started to go away. And this is the last one. And I put it out there on Facebook that I had this shirt to give away, and I was surprised. I promised to the guy that I promised this shirt to. I did it really fast, thinking that nobody else would really be interested in it. But then when I saw all the other people chime in, I realized I wasn't being fair. So I'm gonna have to renege on my thing and say I'm not promising it to you. But what I did was I put all those names and I put them all out. So you got what you got here. You got a Rob here. You got a Colin there. You got all these different people, Rusty and all these people. Let me make sure that you see all this. So I don't want y'all to think he's my witness. He's he's verifying that these are different names. And I've got them all written right here. And to the guy that I did promise something to, I'll give you something else on the next contest when I get more than just one thing or two things and whatnot. Because I realized that there was a bunch of people. There's popcorn in here. So, but I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all these names into the bucket, and the one just fell in there already. And then I'm gonna just randomly pick it all out. And you can see. I don't know if you can see that. You got popcorn and these names all in there. So you're gonna see me do it. I'm gonna make sure that it's totally fair. And I'm gonna contact all you guys. So I'm gonna keep swirling my hand around. I'm not gonna look. And the person who I picked from the group, and it's between the Facebook groups, Movie Addict and I think was it Movie Talk, I think, and Movie Addictions, I think.
You want me to pick it?
Yeah, you're gonna pick it up. Right, and I'm gonna make sure the camera still sees it. Get that popcorn. I'm touching my popcorn too. I can't eat that now. No, and now he's gonna figure it out. So
Rob Richmond.
Rob Richmond. And now, so that's the name. That's the guy who won, Rob Richmond. Now I kind of feel like people are going to think I had it in for Rob Richmond now because I said Rob Richmond when I first would have. Hey. So now I got to prove that these are different names. So look at all the different names that are in there. That's there's a Terry, there's a Don. Y'all see all the names in the comments section of that Facebook page. There's a Donna here. But Rob was mentioned twice, so Rob, I guess it was destined.
It was destined for
Kenny,
you to get
not Colin, not who is this? Not Roy. Why am I being so mean? Just naming these people who didn't win. Not Darnell.
You are not the winners.
You are not the winners, guys. It was the guy who was mentioned twice. So now all you guys are gonna probably accuse me of having to get in for Rob. I do not know Rob Richmond. I don't know him. But I bet he's not gonna be mad that he won the shirt. So I'm gonna give it to Rob Rich. What if I open up the page and it turns out that he was the guy who I promised to the first time? Now you're really gonna think that it was me. But no, it's not. And so next time I promise I'll do better. I hope you guys who did subscribe trying to get this shirt don't just instantly unsubscribe. Now I probably set myself up for that one. But at least I know Rob will stay. But there is going to be more prizes and stuff coming in. I'm getting a lot of things, and even on you want to win some stuff, go to Facebook.com.
Super Happy Incredible Toys. On Friday, they give a free Friday giveaway.
So check out this channel on Facebook because they give away every week, right?
Every week. Yeah.
So yeah. So with me, it's only going to be when the stuff comes in or if I got something ready to give away. But if you want to win prizes. Check out Sneak Peek movie review.
Actually, it's the toy store who hosts us.
Okay, so the sponsor.
Our sponsors, Super Happy. They're the ones who give the prizes away. So yeah. Super Happy Incredible Toys.
So, subscribe to that channel, and you know me, guys. Keep it right here. Every week, try to do new content. So I'm gonna try to rev up the giveaways as well, but.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna. We're planning on doing more of this. I don't want to give away what we've been talking about. Not yet. But plan on seeing me on his channel more. His upcoming YouTube channel and his Facebook channel with you and Nate. And
Matrix. He'll say.
And see us out there. Hopefully at the Us and all these other premieres that are coming out soon. So yeah, appreciate you being here too. So. I hope that doesn't take too long for the next one. I promise next time we won't do like 5 hours of prep and then an hour of recording. I'll condense it. But this conversation kept rolling, so I just keep talking. But yeah, appreciate it. So till next time, guys. I told them about how I exit, like how I do it. So now we gotta awkwardly just try to hold you on. So see you next time. Now edit it. Later, guys. Whoa. Hey, before I forget, I'm not even wearing the same clothes. Doesn't even matter. Move your magic. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. Like if you like, share if you care, comment for a compliment, subscribe to the tribe, and if you want to know more about how you can send me a message and be a part of We Got Your Mail, that's coming up right here. Check this out.